Alrighty. So we can see here, I had a bunch of my.
I should make sure I set them
This is what I
straight this
do
time.
when the clay just gets a little bit too hard. You can let these dry out and they become like little chips, and you can rehydrate them really easily. Or you could put these in a bag
I say
or
pit
a
instead of put.
like a box with a sealed lid, and then
Just
just
vanilla
spray
my
some
thing, I guess.
water in there with like a spray gun, and then just keep it hydrated, and then all this water will go around each one of these, and it will hydrate it a lot faster than if you tried to just like spray water on top of one of these, because essentially what happens is the water piles on the surface, and this you get like a little slurry on the top of this, and it almost insulates the interior from that. And
I hope that's making sense.
it just, you'll notice
sense
that
to
it
me,
takes
but
a
I'm
lot
not sure
longer
about
for these to
everybody
get
else.
rehydrated than if you were to just do it like this. These are the ones that we messed up on yesterday, and so I re-wedged these two, and then we'll be throwing them together, and I'll show you guys how to do that here in a second. Alrighty.
Oh, this is mega cringe.
No, I'm not gonna do something dumb like that.
Oh,
That's like a TikTok star.
But if you've seen
do.
the people on, like, my sister showed me her
look
TikTok
cool.
once, and like I looked at Pottery, and it's just a bunch of like
So this is how we'll do this.
I don't know, like Pottery boy like vibe, and it's not it, it's just not it. You could have a Pottery boy like with a tank top on and like look really aesthetic, or you can have a guy whose mic falls out and he has to keep it in with his chin. It's the options. But I don't want to throw too much shade at those TikTokers. They're just trying to make pots. Actually, maybe that's not even true. Okay, anyway. I felt like today it went okay. I really like how the pot ended up, and hopefully, I think I'm gonna keep this pot. I really like how it turned out. Like, it even collapsed more after, but after the video ended, and I think it would look really cool with some of my like drooping flowers.
We'll add this on top.
Like ceramic flowers in the thing. I just still gotta make sure I like them in.
I don't really know
camera
how this is
focus.
gonna work. Usually you'd want this to be a little bit nicer looking.
Yeah, you don't want any of those bubbles, because like
Just
sometimes
as
it can
close as
get
we
like
can.
screwed up. But whatever, if you get it close enough, you're fine.
You look fucking whacked.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta make sure you don't like seal air in, and as long as you do that, I think you're like in a good spot. I look like I'm in pain.
There we go. This is gonna amount of clay too. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Sometimes when the clay, it's just a little bit stiff because it's not like totally even, and so like that's when it starts to like become like an oval too. That makes it harder.
I made a video yesterday. It's like 1 minute long. I made a YouTube short that was difficult to learn how to make those. I know that seems kind of silly, but on my iPad I just couldn't get it to work. But I made one. I really liked how it turned out. I have this thing where when I make a video, like, has like a 200 views, and I guarantee you like at least 180 of them are mine. I watched it so many times after I finish it. I just get addicted to like watching like the music line up with the throwing stuff.
But I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
I've been obsessed with like drift funk recently, and like drift funk pottery like is where it's at. Like, people always like peace zen pottery. No, like I want like rage and like frustration in the pots. I feel like I don't know, I think that's like way cooler than just like some peaceful music. Like I got on back on Instagram, recently. It's even at the end of my videos, but I realized that
There we
I
go.
really don't like the vibe of ceramics. Like the digital presence that ceramics takes is always not how I don't I don't agree with how it stands. Like ceramics is like a mean thing. It shouldn't be this like zen thing. And I think if you're really taking ceramics seriously, it's not something zen. Like it can be a hobby and that's fine, but for me, it's past something like that. Like I like the struggle. I like when things fail. I like when it makes you sad. Like it's really good. Whoa, did you guys see that little? It's like a little speck. It just like stuck straight up on there. I didn't even notice that. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm getting some more clay tomorrow. I'm so pumped up.
There's a lot of air
Maybe.
bubbles in here.
Actually, I don't know.
I can just
Let's
feel
see.
them. Starting to mushroom.
See the mushroom? That's bad news. So you want to try to get that, soften that edge on that bottom rim back into the clay with that bottom hand. Yeah, there you go. Because you don't want the water, like what happens is it's kind of like this is the pot, right? And then your bottom edge of the pot, right? You don't want to like mushroom it over because then there'll be water. So clay, then a bead of water going all the
really
way
nice 'cause
around, and then your clay.
now we can finally
And
really
so
get
you,
our.
like cut it off.
Like you can see
or
how
even
much
when you
easier
try to
that
pull it
clay
up,
wants
a
to
lot of the
move
clay will just come
when it's
straight off.
when I can really put my
and
body
you,
on it.
cut it.
That's why like using your body and throwing is just like
Cut it off the clay.
so important.
And make sure I let myself speak. But the body weight thing,
Okay.
yeah, it's really important.
There we go. Nice. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know where my other sponge is, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't like the sponges that I have are not good. I like the natural looking sponges. I think those ones are always the best. Like the synthetic sponges, they almost feel like they're slippery or like they're filled with soap. Make sure I'm sitting up. I could just angle it more down, but it's whatever. This is looking like a good base. It's a little bit off center, but like I always say, it's okay. It's just I think the hardest part about this is that since I reclaimed it and I haven't been reclaiming it properly, it's like a little bit uneven in its moisture level. Like some of it's just a little bit like you'll feel like a little like spot of clay that's just a little bit harder when you're pulling, and sometimes it can really throw you off. What am I doing here? Just trying to get some of that off, I guess.
All right, here we go. First pull.
Claw grip. Just trying to. This is actually a really good first pull. You saw at the bottom there. I was really trying to force it inward from the very bottom.
Got a little bit
Right.
away from me.
And that's just
my
gonna
angle
help you out when you get
wasn't perfect on that, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's got a little bit off centered on that top area. And when I meant angle, I mean like you always want your hands like opposite of each other, really. And that helps out a lot. And like once you get to the top, sometimes I feel like my hand shifts to the side, and then I'm pushing, or like it's starting to drag against my hands. And you'll see that later. It happens a lot on this pot, actually. Getting a lot of dragging. And it's like pulling it off center at certain areas. And that's irritating. I don't like that noise. I still don't have my favorite bats, but
Right underneath.
hopefully we get those soon.
Okay.
Let's see what I do here. Yeah, it does look pretty crummy on the surface right now. You can see all that that sludge is kind of just getting scraped off. But this pole is not bad. I can guarantee I probably felt it getting away from me. If you're trying to move too much clay, even though I think that's the right thing to do, is move as much as you can from that bottom up onto the top on that first pole and get it established, and it will help you out. It does make it like a little bit nerve-wracking, and you can see it's kind of wide right now, and so it's harder for me to try to keep that clay in when I'm just doing just a 1-point pole on one side, you know, rather than that first initial pole that really can help you out with stability. Yeah, right here, what I'm doing is I noticed at the top it was like a coil almost of clay, and so I'm trying to just like make it a little bit more like an oval so it's easier to manage, so I could collar it here, and so that's why I was doing that.
Alright, here we go. So this top rim is really starting to get a little bit too thin.
Yeah, I think when it was like that was probably
Sort of leave that
almost the
clay
right
on
thickness,
that
but I
top.
wanted to like
Just keep
really
collaring this in
make
a
it
little bit.
even, and I just went too thin.
Hopefully, I'm doing that same thing. The top is already overworked. And when I mean overworked, I don't mean like I've added too much water. I just mean I pulled too much clay out. Even starting from where I just started that small little correction pole, it's already too thin right there.
Yeah, in the belly area.
So,
There's still so much clay on the bottom that I can get out to, so
but that's okay.
we'll see how I handle it.
And we'll just keep collaring that in. Be great.
It's actually kind of cool to look at the clay move from this angle. You know, sometimes it really looks magical.
Second
Maybe
pull.
not in that exact moment, but like it looks way cooler from like this point of view than from my point of view. From my point of view, I'm not even like really seeing exactly what's going on. I'm just sort of trying to feel it.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to fix this bottom. There's just so much clay down there, so I'm just trying to get that out. There we go. I should slow the wheel head down. It's kind of cooking right now. Getting pretty wide, so I'm getting nervous. I think I slowed it down just a little bit. See, once it starts going pancaking, that's nerve-wracking. And then I saved it here, so I just started slowing. When you feel it wanting to settle, all you do, just slow down, slow your pull. What you're gonna want to feel like is trying to catch it, and how you actually catch it is you just like sit, right? You just sit there. This is not bad. It has a good height to it. When you try to do these like collars from the bottom, just know that they're never really gonna, unless you like. I haven't figured it out yet. I'll figure it out one day maybe, but for me, it's just not really working. It's a lot better to just do a pull. But now there's really only like a little bit of thick clay right at the bottom there, and the rest of it's actually kind of even. My pole here is just a little bit too wide, but I'm just trying to like get it back on center, and then I'll try to smooth it out later. But you can see there's a lot of spots that are kind of like shaky, and that's a little bit worrisome. But
Doing okay here.
yeah, see, I'm just thinking I'm doing okay, just because right now all I'm doing is just trying to fix everything. Just trying to cut off some of that bottom stuff too, but also try to keeping it like straight, like straighten up the pot a little bit and try to smooth out some of those lines. You can see it didn't really work everywhere because my throwing lines were already big, so trying to like straighten them out, I just have to go slower next time I do something like that. Yeah, it's pretty off center here, but I think we end up saving this pot. Um, I do something cooler that I haven't done in other videos yet. For the top of this pot here, so it's kind of exciting. But you can see that middle, it's too thin, and there's those lines that are still there, and I can't push those out all the way, and so. Yeah, I just try to. I said to myself, you know what? Let's just try to go with it. Um, and I fixed that top part just a little bit. Now I just have those two notches on that in the still in that middle area, maybe like three, almost three, but where those throwing lines look a little bit larger, and so. I'm trying to get rid of them right now. The heck is the focus doing right now? I don't even know what it's focusing on. Okay. That was kind of weird. And so when you're compressing with that rib, you're also like cutting that that slurry stuff that I was talking about at the very beginning. You're cutting that off, which is nice. And we're at a good spot right now. I wouldn't be this is not too bad. Ideally you'd want it to be perfectly straight, but
This pot really not doing too great.
it's okay. You can still like make something with this stuff. I just think when a pot is like this, right? You gotta do something to the surface. You have to, and whatever that is, that's up to you. It can even just be the glaze. But yeah, now here's what I'm trying to do on this top rim is I'm trying to like throw it out so like it kind of like goes wide. And so I'm going to do a couple of poles just because this time I actually had that right at that rim when I was telling you I was thinning it out. It's still a little, I had a little bit of more clay than what I would have had in the past. And so it allowed me to do something like this without going way too thin on the top. And the wider you go, the slower you have to go. And you have to do, when you try to do these, like get it something wider, you have to do it in like sets. You can't just do it all at once. You kind of have to work your way out to that wideness. I feel like I can make a couple of really cool plates or like tables like this, like pot tables. Make me kind of interesting, but if I just put like a really wide slab on the top or even like some glass. I do like the look of that right now. And so I always want to, I gotta finish whatever I'm doing on the top first, and then I'll pull the bottom through. I'll do like my pull for the design of the middle part after.
There should be a. I have this thing. I haven't been talking for a second, but sorry, but
It's okay. No, I'm talking.
There should be like a chamois somewhere. And it will like smooth out that edge really nicely.
I couldn't find it, but I just tried to.
It's okay. We don't really need it,
Yeah, you don't.
but it could
You
be
can
kind of
use
cool.
a chamois, and cut
Alright.
like a little sliver off of it. You can use wet newspaper that kind of rips eventually, but you can use it a couple times before it rips. The best I've found is blue masking tape. You take two of the side, like the sticky sides, and put them together, and then you can drape it right over the edge, and it'll smooth it out really nice. Right here, I'm just trying to make some sort of edge. This edge, I think, is still a little thick. I should have made it thinner. And I think if I made it thinner and climb higher, it would have looked
We're gonna
almost
make
like a
little
skirt.
bit in here.
And I think I would have liked that a little bit more. But um, I'm getting close to the last pole. I think this might be it, maybe.
Alright. So, hopefully something cool happens here.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm excited to see like what it looks like when if like the top fell. So sometimes the top won't fall. Sometimes the top will fall just a little bit. Sometimes like it's just totally rips off, and so it really depends on the thinness and how wet the clay is. And you can see I'm doing this pole a lot slower, just because I'm trying to just ease my way up to that top. And it's starting to fall, and as soon as it collapses, I let go. Right? Just let's chill out. We're just examining it. I think it looks kind of nice. I like how this one turned out. If I could do like some knobs on the sides,
There's the pot.
I think it would look pretty cool. So what happened from here is that
I
right
think we
around the
just leave
rim,
it.
it
We'll
ripped
cut off the
and
bottom
like sort
here.
of fell down the side of the pot, which
This is it.
I'm
I
telling you,
think
if
it
I had
might
one of
even
those
rip a
droopy
little bit
flowers
more.
just like hanging in there, I think it would look sick.
So we'll see how it goes.
But yeah, I really do like that, how that turned out. Yeah, you can see it's just a little bit thick. Just a little bit thick on that bottom edge. Just a little. I should have just left it like. I don't know why I keep trying to do stuff at the bottom. I do like these, but I just think these aren't the pots for it, you know? I think it just wasn't even there, too. You know, what are you gonna do? I think it's okay, you know? Tomorrow I'll do one where I like make it thinner and make it look like more like a skirt. Right now I'm trying to debate if I want to do anything else to it, but I tried to the other day and it didn't work out at all. So I was just like hesitant. I was just
Oh
like,
yeah, we gotta get the inside.
it's okay. I just gotta get the water out the inside now. I feel like that's important just because this isn't masonite. With the masonite ones, you don't really have to because it sucks the moisture out from the bottom. But with like plastic bats, sorry, buddy. You know, somebody told me once that when they wear a beanie and they get hot, they just take the beanie and just like take it off and just like drape it over
Alright.
their head. This kind of reminds me of
I
like
didn't
how
talk too much, but
they looked when they did that.
there's the pot for the day.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for watching.
All the best and strong mentality.